For the first time in 5 years, I'm going to reveal and share the exact system, the exact roadmap that I've created for financial planners and advisors to generate consistent leads, consistent clients, and consistent monthly income. And more importantly, transform the lives of so many financial planners. Now, some of our clients are doing 15K a month, some are doing 30K a month, some are doing 50K a month. And one of our clients is doing 6 figures a month using this exact system. It's called the community traffic method. Now, the best part about the system is that you don't need a website, you don't need landing pages, you don't need CRMs, you don't need funnels, and you never have to attend a networking event or have any hope strategies in place. I am going to reveal the 4-step system you need to generate the leads today to start generating the income that you want and build a lifestyle that you've always wanted. This is probably the reason you started your business, is to have more money, more impact, and more time with your family. So let's get into it. For those that don't know me, my name is Lucien Govender, and for the last 5 years, I've been helping financial planners and advisors around the globe, which has been super helpful. But it wasn't this easy. And today I want to share with you how I actually came about the system that I created for myself, which was then able to then coach other financial planners and advisors to implement it in their business. See, back in 2019, I decided in April to shift my family from Australia, Sydney, Australia, over to Barcelona in Spain. We wanted to chase, different lifestyle, have, basically give our kids more opportunities, and really thought everything would be totally okay. 18 months into it, and everything changed. Like, I was drowning in so much bad luck, the way I looked at it. I was losing clients from an agency that I was running in Australia for the last 15 years. I wasn't generating the income. My savings was running low. I was getting up at 3 a.m. in the morning, and worse still is my health was deteriorating. I was putting on so much weight, and I knew something had to change. And I thought, someone with 15 years experience in marketing and running my own agency, I'll be able to sort this all out. But it wasn't to be. And it got to a point where literally, like, I was, burning out and just couldn't keep up. And I decided to get some help, and I paid for a coaching program in I think it was November 2020, so almost 5 years ago now. And that's when everything changed for me. And the thing is, what basically changed was that I was missing a few things which I'd never thought about before. And I was like, hey, I thought I was doing that. Literally before even entering this coaching program, I was doing everything from going on YouTube, downloading lead magnets. I was listening to podcasts, reading books, trying to work everything out as I was losing money and all the stress and things that were keeping me up at night. And then this program just really pointed out the things that I was missing. And so I was able to create the foundation for what lies today as my program, the Community Traffic Method, was to create the program. And that gave me the confidence to get myself out there. But I still had to work out a few things myself. And the way I discovered what was working, and, really why you only just need your mobile phone these days to, create the business that you want, is by actually going through some of the struggles, some of the challenges I had. So I decided to pivot from running a marketing agency into going into coaching for financial planners and advisors. And I have to say, it's been a fantastic experience. But here's the thing that I had to change the most was going to social media. And for those that don't know my background, like, I had so much limiting beliefs. I had a lack of confidence getting in front of people, in front of the camera. I had, all these different things, and two, specific limiting beliefs that I think would be really important for me to share. Is one was, I just felt that in my cultural background. So I was born in South Africa, and I just felt that culturally that getting up in front of the camera, people wouldn't listen to me. Fortunately, obviously, for my Australian accent, people kind of get a little bit confused. Who's this kind of Indian guy from South Africa talking with an Aussie accent? But that stigma, was inside in me for such a long time, that stopped me from getting myself out there. And even when I was doing it, I was so hesitant in doing it, and that energy that I was putting out there just wasn't great. The second thing that I had to overcome was the fear of getting in front of the camera. For people that don't know me and my stories, that I used to have a stutter, and that stutter really stopped me from, again, getting in front of the camera, getting in front of people, being very awkward in sales meetings. And I felt that was one of the reasons I felt I was restricted, and just really stopped me from growing quickly enough. And so I had to overcome these limiting beliefs, and glad I did, because I was so determined that my decision to, leave Australia, give up the agency, and make this work. And also, more importantly, for my health and for my family's sake, I had to make this work. And here's what I discovered is that in order to attract the business that you want, you don't need, like I said, those fancy funnels or anything like that. You can just use your mobile phone. And literally, everything that I teach in the community traffic method is all my struggles that I've had in the past, but showing people how to use their mobile phones, be able to be on holidays, still be able to take leads on, chat to people, and really get people booked into their calendar. And so today I want to walk you through that because one of the key things, and you'll know this as a financial planner advisor, all you want to be doing is getting in front of the right people and have the conversation. Because when you do that, you're able to convert them so much quicker and easier. So the program that I'm about to share with you has, like I said, transformed so many lives. I want to give you a couple of examples, to be honest with you. It's, Ryan Sullivan from Montana, who went from 2K a month, doing that for like 12 months, joined the program, and the first month he did 30K for the month. Susanna, a mum, also with limiting time from, she's working from 9 to 3. She went from 3K a month to $18,000 a month, which is amazing. But the best part of that is that she gets to spend time with her kids. And the last one I just want to share with you is Josh, who was at 7K a month. So he was doing okay, but he just couldn't crack the 10K and 15K barrier. Now he's doing $24,000 a month, all using this exact program that I'm about to share with you. No more sleepless nights, no more worrying about your bills. When you start hitting over 15K a month, and this is exactly what this program has done for so many clients, it gives you a whole sorts of opportunity. I mean, for example, Ryan booked his lifetime holiday that he always wanted 10 years ago that he wrote down on a vision board, and it's actually coming to fruition now. So he's booked his heli skiing trip. He's also been able to tell his wife she no longer needs to work, and she's actually just put in her resignation at her job. So it creates so much, I say transformation, but it creates the life that you've always wanted. And this is why I'm sharing this today with you, because I want to have that impact on you guys out there. And I want you to kind of, understand that you don't need to spend all that money on everything else from a marketing perspective, but landing pages, websites, branding, and all these different things that everyone keeps telling you and selling you as a marketer. And don't get me wrong, I used to do the same thing running an agency for 15 years. You no longer need any of that. This is why myself, that I'm sharing with you today is the exact system I've implemented for myself. And this is why I know it works. Now, the system I'm about to share with you, you have to overcome 4 key objectives and 4 key challenges, really. One is the challenge you probably have already is standing out from all the other financial planners and advisors. Now, you probably think, hey, I'll find a niche. That's what everyone tells you to do. You go find a niche. And then when you're in that niche, you find that there's like 15, 20, if not more financial planners and advisors already there. They've probably been there for a few years. And again, you just feel like, you feel deflated because, hey, I found a niche. I get all excited. I go in there and it's not working out. Then you change, trying to find something else. And it doesn't quite work out. So one of the key things is having the ability to stand out. And the way to stand out is having the right model in place that gives you that consistent leads. And when you're able to do that, you get the next one is not having enough leads is because you probably don't have the right message to the right people. So having that alignment is so important because when you do that, you no longer have an empty calendar. You actually have, or a low bank account for that matter. So you want to fill up your calendar as quickly as possible. But the other thing is, the other big challenge a lot of financial planners face is they take on clients that aren't quite the right fit. So they're getting underpaid. And so they've got to work twice as hard to try and get more clients on board rather than get the type of clients that you feel really comfortable in helping and generating the income that you want. And lastly, is that when you aren't getting enough wins on the board, and this is what I see a lot of times, and I think the statistics that shows that 52% of financial planners and advisors, within 3 years of starting their business, go back working for someone else. That's quite high. And that basically comes down to a lack of confidence and lack of skills in terms of really getting where you want to be. But where you want to be really is having confidence, having consistent leads, consistent clients, consistent monthly income, and consistent book calls. Like when you can open up your calendar on a Monday morning, you can see the week ahead that you've got people booked in. That is a fantastic place to be. The other thing is you want to have time, with your family. You want to be able to work out who you want to be working with and really build the business around your lifestyle. So let's get into it. I want to share with you the 4-part system on how to do it. So I've made some notes here, so I'm going to share them with you today and go from there. So step number 1 It's about building credibility. How you build credibility is by designing a value proposition that is so clear and compelling to your audience. And the way to do that, there's two key things you want to be doing. One is you need to work out who your ideal client that you want to be working with. Now, notice I never use the word niche, and I'll come back to it in a second. You want to work out who's your ideal client. And then what you want to be doing is focusing on your own personal strengths. So, what are the key areas, whether it's experience that you've had before, or you just feel like there's a specific area that you want to focus on because of some, story that you can tell. When you focus on your strengths, you'll be able to attract the right type of people by sharing and really leaning into your strengths. When you do that, everything works out so much easier because you will be able to, relate to your audience. The second key thing in terms of building credibility is having a signature system. Now, your signature system is a unique way on how you're going to help your clients generate, or develop the strategies in order to get the result, but more importantly, also fits into your strengths. This signature system is the number one thing that's going to help you stand out from all the other financial planners out there. And I say stand out because every client that I've been on board over the last 5 years look at the signature system as their way of really standing out, their offer into the marketplace. One of our clients has taken the signature system and has written a book around it. It's about to be published in late 2025, which is around back now. So that's going to be published right now using this exact model that I'm about to share with you because the signature system is the game changer that you need. Now, once you're able to do that, you got your signature system, you know who you're talking to. You really need to, it's all about finding your right message, telling your message to the audience that focuses on your strengths, and your signature system is going to help you attract the right type of clients. Now, step number two, you need to then look at how do we get yourself out there, which is more about create connection with that audience. And again, there's two parts in order to connect. What you want to be doing is creating content. Now, everyone thinks, they'll go into ChatGPT, create content, put it out there, and everyone's going to be attracted to it. What ends up happening now, the AI systems pick up on AI, on ChatGPT and other AI platforms that have produced content. And they're going, hold on, this is not authentic enough. So you know what? We're not going to give you priority. So, you can put the content out there, but we're not going to give you priority. So what you want to be doing is really creating content. And I want you to think of content in three different stages. The top of the funnel is more about creating awareness, getting people to know you, right? Getting their attention. Once you've done that, you then need to nurture those people. So they need to like you, right? Once they start liking you, say, hey, I really understand this person. They understand they understand my problems. They understand my challenges. They understand how, how to get the result that I want. Then they're going to need to trust you, right? Which is bottom of the funnel. So you got know at the top, like in the middle, and trust at the bottom of the funnel, where it basically filters out, well, the people that basically aren't the right fit, but also brings in the right type of people all the way through to booking a meeting with you. You need to create 3 pieces of content every week at bare minimum to actually show those 3 different stages. Now, it could be written content, which is no problem, or you can create video content. Now, for me, I prefer video content because I feel that connects people a lot easier to me. Plus, it avoids all the AI stuff that's out there. So I feel much more comfortable in front of the camera these days, even though with all those limiting beliefs that I have, I feel a lot more comfortable creating short form video and also long form video for people to really understand how I help them get results. This, for example, is a long form video. So you need to understand how to create the content. Then what you need to be doing is having an ad strategy. Now, when I say ad strategy, you probably think, oh, I don't have $1,000 to spend every month. For let's say a cup of coffee, a Starbucks coffee a day, which is around about $5, I think it is, you can attract and build a community with that $5. Now, you don't need to run it every day of the week, but if you can pick 3 to 4 days a week, perfect. Run the ads, create the ads, and put it out there. And really keeping it really simple. You can just boost your content if you really need to, but creating the right type of ads to attract the right type of people into your community is so key in order to help you get the attention and build enough people around your services. So I've just covered off the connection part, so how you get your brand out there. Now, the next stage is about converting people. So now you've got them in your, let's say, your ecosystem. Now what you want to be doing is really nurturing those people through content. And then what you want to be doing is getting people to raise their hands, wanting your help. More importantly, you want to have a conversation with people. And this is what step number 3, it's about easy conversions. And the way to do that is to really initiate conversations with people. The more conversations you have, the easier it's going to be. So first part of conversion is to have direct conversation. I encourage my clients to have 3 conversations every day with prospects. Now, when I say prospects, it's actually having new prospects that you can just, send out some content, really initiate conversations. And if you do that over a month, that's, let's say 3 for a day. For the week, you got 15. For the month, you got 60 conversations happening. You're bound to sign up clients, book people into your calendar. Now, let's say out of the 60, you get 10% booking into your calendar. That's 6 people into your calendar for the month, and you sign on 2 to 3 new clients after that. That is a very simple system and really metrics you should be measuring by in order to get over 15K a month. And this is exactly what this program and system does to help you do that. Then what you want to be doing is focusing on once you've booked them into your calendar and having those conversations, how do you actually convert them? Now, converting them is actually having this very specific sales strategy. Now, when I say sales, I'm not talking about going in and really convincing people on how to, to take up your services. It's more about serving people from a perspective of, hey, these are the problems that I help solve. If these are the same problems you have, then hey, I'm able to help you. This is the program, this is the system I have. This is my signature roadmap to helping you get the result that you want. And when you can position it from that perspective, you will have much more buy-in from your prospects into you. They trust you a lot more because you've got the system in place to actually help get results. And that approach from a sales perspective makes life so much easier. I know we all have, and I was part of that, really bad at sales, really awkward with the whole thing. And this whole process of what I call stretch the gap in part of the sales process makes life so much easier because I'm coming not from a sales perspective, I'm coming from a serving perspective on actually helping them identify the problems, actually giving them solutions, and then it's up to them to make a decision on if they want that solution or they want to go somewhere else, which is totally cool. Because as long as you've provided the first point of contact, what they need to be doing, that's going to put you in a far better position when there's, if they're interviewing other financial planners. So step number 4. Now, step number 4 is probably one you could probably do at the start, but really in order to build the business you want, create the lifestyle, you need to build confidence. And this is what step number 4 is about, building confidence. And what I find, this is the kind of the secret, the missing piece for so many financial planners. The reason you haven't developed the business that you want is because you haven't addressed some of the limiting beliefs that you have about running a business, about maybe the industry. And the key part of it here is really about identifying what are the things holding you back, what are the constraints you've put on yourself and in the business that's coming through. And so there's 2 things I like to look at. One is authenticity. How much are you showing up as your true self and actually sharing your story, being vulnerable? And let me tell you, the clients that have shown vulnerability, that have shared their story, have actually had far bigger and quicker success as a financial planner. Like those clients that client is doing 6 figures a month, they started 12 months before that at 15K a month, right? Until they decided to show up and be authentic and be themselves in front of the camera and in front of, on social media, they were able to develop their business so much quicker. And the next part of, building confidence is all about having an abundant mindset. Now, when I talk about abundant mindset, it's more about when things come on board, do I fear these things or am I tackling them with the right abundance mindset? A lot of times, financial planners will look at everything that comes up as a problem. When you reverse engineer that and look at, okay, what is this teaching me right now? What do I need to learn about it? What do I need to, in order to fix the problem, what do I need to do? And having that mindset is it's the way you need to actually grow your business. Take it from someone who's been in business for almost 20 years now. Like I started my agency, 15 years before working with financial planners. Now it's 5 years later, 20 years. This is the one thing that's really made the biggest difference to me. Now, what I've just shared with you is part of my community traffic method. But in order to grow your business, you really need to work out where you are today and where you need to be. And then what you need to do is really work out what are the challenges, what are the constraints, what are the limiting beliefs I've got right now that is stopping me from getting to where I want to get to. And just make a list of all those different things. Now, most of the time, it comes down to I don't have enough confidence, I don't have the skills and knowledge. And the trouble is, what most financial planners do is they'll hop onto YouTube, they'll look at all the other financial planners out there, trying to get the information. The trouble is, you're going to get bits and pieces of information, but nothing put together in a nice, simple way that you can follow and get the result. Worse still is you look at other financial planners getting the results, and then you start feeling imposter syndrome. And that really eats into the self-belief that you have, and that slows the growth down. And what most financial planners do, rather than get themselves out there using social media, running ads, they go just networking. Now, networking is great, but I've been in networking groups. I've got so many clients that tried networking as a financial planner and have failed. And not because they weren't introverts or they weren't extroverts or anything like that. It's just because it's such a slow channel to get leads. So what you want to be doing is really working out what do you need to do to get to the next level. Now, I've created a roadmap right here. I've broken it right down into the 4 key steps. If you can, download the link, get access to the document of the 4 key steps. It's going to help you, not only identify the gaps that you need to be working on, but it's really give you the roadmap on how to get to over 15K a month. For some of you, you're probably overdoing, 15K a month. That's totally cool. But if you can get, 2, 3 new clients using this exact system, which I know you can, then that's just going to make it a little bit easier. And hey, you're going to have a much bigger business. So for those that, want some help with implementing or getting more information about the community traffic method, hey, drop me a message, but also check out the actual roadmap itself by clicking the link. Thanks so much for joining us. My name is Lucian Govender, and I really appreciate your time for being around for this long. I look forward to speaking to you soon. Take care. Bye for now.